Well, let's talk about this book. So you did this on your own. No ghostwriter at all, no anybody. It's all you.
Yeah, I only have myself to blame for it, but it made the New York Times bestseller list first weekend, so somebody's reading it, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, man. So how come you decided to do this yourself and not have someone else join you?
Well, actually, the publishers encouraged me because I'd already written about 30,000 words when we got the deal with Simon & Schuster at Touchstone, and that my publisher read it and was very excited about my voice and my writing style, and said, you don't need a ghostwriter, write this yourself. So it's usually the case with celeb bios is they talk it into a tape recorder, then a writer goes away and makes it into a book. But I think they thought that I had a voice and wanted me to do it, so I was up for it. I love writing, and it's just they just didn't assume that because I wrote songs, I could also write prose.
Mm-hmm. Did it come naturally to you like songwriting, though? As when you started writing, did it just flow like a song does?
Yeah, very much so. It's very. I've written before. Essays at school were the only thing I ever got any good grades on. So I always thought I would be a writer at first, but then music took over. But I've always, I've read a lot, and I'm a very avid reader, and I think I learned to write by reading the great writers.
For sure, and it comes off very naturally. I think it's pretty early on in the book. You mentioned shoving a pregnant goat down a garden hose, and I was just like, well, that's probably the Australian in you. I think a little bit. That sounds like an Aussie kind of thing.
Sucking pregnant goats through a garden hose.
It sounds like an Aussie line.
I made it up, but it's very probably the Australian in me.
Has it given you a love of writing, though? Do you want to write again? Is this something that might?
Yeah, definitely. I am being encouraged by the publishers to write more too, which is great.
And write what? Because obviously this is writing what you know, right? You're writing your life. Would you?
Yeah, but it's it's storytelling, and I have stories. Everyone has stories,
right?
And I think I have the ability to write them, and they think so too. So I'm not quite sure what path that will take just yet, but I'm definitely looking into it.
A lot of people are going to know you, obviously, from this book that they'll see in chapters and whatnot, but in the older crowd, well, General Hospital and Jessie's Girl and all that stuff. But I think for a lot of the younger people that are listening, Californication is how we know Rick Springfield. How far off of you, let's say, in the 80s was that character? Because I doubt the way...
Pretty drastically far off. I was never a coke guy, and I was never I was never a hedonist to that. I always loved people that I liked, the girls I hung with. I wasn't like a bad guy to them, kind of thing, like this guy is. But it's playing against type, and I that's the best acting stuff you can do.
Were you nervous to have it as yourself, though, and portray yourself in a way that was not degrading, but like you said, hedonistic and a cokehead?
I think once I'd read the great writing, I was fully into it, and it's acting. Everybody knows you're acting, and they were really thrilled with it. And a couple of people said, "Oh, I didn't know Rick did drugs." I'm thinking, well, if I did drugs, would I go on TV and portray that?
No, I hope not.
But it's pretty funny. But got great reaction. So I was very happy with it.
Yeah, are you going to be back on the show, or was that just like a one-time deal?
I did 4 episodes, and I don't know how they work, but I'm open for it again for sure.
Yeah. What about music? Are you working on anything?
Yeah, we're just about to start writing and recording a new record, and we're touring still. Now the book tour, I did a big book tour that took me around America, and we're pretty much winding that down. But we're going out on the road again, and we have a cruise, Rick Springfield and Friends cruise.
Right, who else is on that this year?
Kevin Cronin from REO Speedwagon is a musical guest.
Nice.
And, have some soap friends, and Mark Goodman is a host again from MTV. And it's really it's the funnest thing we do all year. It's we play music, songs I don't normally play, and it's a guilt-free partying, drinking, playing, 5 days around the Bahamas, and then we do a beach show, and then we all go swimming, and it's really amazing.
Yeah, well, that's paradise, man. This is exactly what that is. Is any of that going to be in this film? I hear you have a documentary coming out about your fans.
Yeah, the documentary crew has followed us around for about a year. They've been to Japan and Europe with us, and they will be on the cruise, but I told them they can't get it in anyone's face.
or else what?
Or else we'll throw them overboard, make them walk the plank.
The book talks a lot about the rock and roll lifestyle and, the ups and downs, but what really stuck out for me And what must have been hard for you to write was what happened when you were 16.
Yeah, in retrospect, I'm glad I put it in. I was, there's always moments where I think about, wow, maybe I shouldn't be this revealing. But the book opens with me hanging myself in my parents' garden shed. And fortunately, the rope came undone after about 20 seconds. But I was just losing consciousness. But I was a pretty dark kid, and puberty was particularly unkind to me, as it is everybody. And I just was failing in school, and I had no friends and felt really unattractive and just wanted out of my skin. It was a horrible moment. And tried to end it there. And with the whole talk of teen suicides lately too, it's been there was a reason for it to be in there, and I think that's one of them. Is maybe someone will read it and it'll give them pause, because I say in the book, give it a week or give it a month or a year, because things will change. And my life has been I've had a pretty amazing life and have an amazing family, and none of that would have happened if I'd been successful at that.
Yeah, I mean, I am myself. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm not really a religious person, but I'm spiritual. Something saved you for a reason.
Yeah, I agree. I did feel like I was I'd been saved for something, and I thought that something was music. But now I'm not so sure. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in my life, and have gone on in my life, and I know I'm saved for my family, for one thing, because I have amazing boys. And that wouldn't have happened, if the rope hadn't come untangled.
Yeah, and it's funny because you kind of revisit that a little later with David Strickland in the book.
Yeah, he was a good guy, and it's kind of it's a very very sad way to go for me, to hear people, and I think we've all known somebody who's been there. Either that they've been successful in going through with it, like David was, or they come close. But it's a dark place, and there's no real way to. I mean, once it's done, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
And David was a very talented guy. I mean, I was absolutely amazed. I thought he had like a great future, and it really surprised me when I heard.
Yeah.
But I mean, the book is treated with a lot of humor.
I should digress a little bit. It's not all sad.
I don't want it to sound like it's all about doom and gloom, because there is a lot of humor.
No, there is, and a lot of penis talk too, and that always ends up being funny at times. I do want to talk about Jessie's Girl though for a second, just because they revisited it in Glee recently, so it's getting a whole new found love for it again.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that. As a writer, you kind of hope a song will kind of go on beyond just being a hit, and this one certainly has done that. I think it's been in movies. Boogie Nights was probably one of the first ones to really display it, and it's just become one of those songs. And I would have no idea how that happens, or I think it's just something in a song, something in the times, something in where people hear it and how they remember it. A lot of things.
Yeah, I wonder about your relationship with it now, because I mean, even in the book, you talk about ups and downs with every songwriter that has that massive song, or even several massive songs, has relationships with those songs because those are the ones everyone wants to hear, and those are the ones people are screaming at for every night.
Right.
And where are you at it right now with it?
I'm very proud of having written it. It does tend to overshadow other stuff, but it's also I mean, I understand. I know when I go and see people and they have a hit one of those songs, you can't leave the stage without playing it, and you accept that. And it's like it becomes like one of your children who's gone on to be really successful. You don't mind people saying how great they are. At this point, these kind of songs become your children. You've sung them so many times. Then you almost can't relate to them as songs anymore.
We do something called 5 questions, 5 quick questions, 1-word answers. Acting, writing, or singing?
Writing.
Lennon or McCartney?
Wow. Wow, McLennan.
McLennan, all right. Most important thing in a song, lyrics, melody, or cadence?
For me, lyrics.
Song you've written you're most proud of?
My Father's Chair.
Oh, good song. And in one word, Rick Springfield.
Geek.
That's good. Thank you.